The stars looked different from this far out. Captain June stood on the bridge of the Pathfinder Earth's first true interstellar ship, and watched the main screen. His dark eyes reflected the distant pinpricks of light. "Captain, sensors are picking up something," said Lieutenant Mina. Her fingers moved quickly over the control panel. "It's big. Very big." June nodded. He was a calm man. In his 15 years with Earth's Space Force, he had seen many strange things, but nothing like this. "Show me," he said. The main screen changed. Now it showed a massive object moving toward them. It was at least 10 times bigger than the Pathfinder Its shape reminded June of a giant beetle with sharp edges that gleamed in the starlight. "Is it a ship?" he asked. Mina checked her readings. "Yes, Captain. And it's slowing down. I think it's noticed us." The bridge grew quiet. The 6 crew members all looked at June. This was what they had trained for. First contact with alien life. But training was one thing. Reality was another. "Send the greeting message," June ordered. His voice was steady. "All frequencies, all formats." Earth scientists had created a simple message of peace. It contained basic math, images of humans, and friendly greetings in 100 Earth languages. They had sent this message to the stars for 50 years. Now finally, someone was here to receive it. "Message sent, Captain," said Communications Officer Ta. "And we're getting something back. They're responding." June felt his heart beat faster, but his face stayed calm. "Put it on screen." The image that appeared made the crew gasp. The alien had a face like a lizard, with scales that shifted colors in the light. It had 4 eyes, all yellow with black slits down the middle. Its mouth moved to reveal rows of sharp teeth. "Humans," the alien said. Its voice was surprisingly clear. "I am Grand Commander Grekthar of the Vorn Empire. Your ship has entered our territory." June stepped forward. "I am Captain June of Earth's vessel Pathfinder *. We come in peace and friendship. We did not know this space belonged to anyone." The alien made a sound like rocks grinding together. June realized it was laughing. "All space belongs to the Vorn," said Grekthar. "Your planet will soon learn this. We have watched your world for some time. You are primitive, but you may be useful." Mina whispered to June, "Captain, I'm getting readings of weapons powering up on their ship." June nodded slightly but kept his eyes on the screen. "We wish to learn about your people and share knowledge," he said to the alien. "Share?" Grekthar laughed again. "The Vorn do not share. We take, and we will take Earth." The alien leaned closer to the screen. "You will surrender your ship now. Then you will guide us to your home planet. If you refuse, we will destroy you and find Earth ourselves. It will just take a bit longer." June felt the weight of Earth's future on his shoulders. He had to think carefully. "We request time to discuss your offer," he said. "You have 1 hour," said Grekthar. "Use it wisely." The screen went black. June turned to his crew. Their faces showed fear, but also determination. "Captain, they have enough firepower to destroy us 10 times over," said Mina. "And a fleet of thousands more ships, according to their signals," added Ta. June walked to the window and looked out at the massive alien ship. "We need to warn Earth," he said. "But we also need to learn more about these Vorn, what they want, how they think." He turned back to his crew. "And why they seem so sure we'll just give up without a fight." "What are your orders, Captain?" asked Mina. June's face was serious but calm. "Prepare a message to Earth with everything we've learned, and ready the shuttle. Lieutenant Mina, and I will accept their invitation." "But Captain," Mina started to object. "Sometimes the best way to understand an enemy is to walk right into their home," said June. "And I need to see what we're up against." As the crew prepared for the dangerous meeting, June wondered what waited for them aboard the alien ship, but whatever it was, he would face it without fear. for Earth. Back on Earth, the emergency alert woke Defense Minister Han from a deep sleep. He rushed to the Global Defense Center, still fixing his uniform. The room was already full. World leaders appeared on large screens around the circular table. The message from Pathfinder arrived 20 minutes ago, said Officer Da. She was Earth's top intelligence expert. Her eyes were tired but alert. The alien ship has already taken Captain June and Lieutenant Mina aboard. Han looked at the images of the Vorn ship. It was massive and threatening. Do we believe their claim about thousands of ships? Asked the President of the United World Council. Officer Day touched her screen and brought up new data. We have been studying their communications. Something doesn't add up. She pointed to signals between the Vorn ship and distant points. These messages suggest they are alone, or nearly alone. They speak of waiting for backup. If they had thousands of ships, why wait? So they're bluffing, said Han. Possibly, said Da, or they have other advantages we don't understand yet. Meanwhile, on the Vorn ship, Jun and Mina were led down a long hallway by alien guards. The Vorn were taller than humans by at least a foot. Their scaled skin shifted colors as they moved, like oil on water. They carried weapons that hummed with strange energy. Stay alert, Jun whispered to Mina. Notice everything. The hallway opened into a massive room. Grand Commander Grekthar sat on a raised platform. His scales were brighter than the others, with patterns that seemed to show his high rank. Approach, humans, he said. His voice boomed in the large space. Jun and Mina walked forward. They tried to appear respectful, but not afraid. I have sent a message to your planet, said Grekthar. They have 1 Earth day to surrender. If they refuse, we will destroy your major cities one by one. Jun kept his face calm. My leaders will want proof of your claims about your fleet and weapons. Grekthar's 4 eyes blinked in different patterns. He seemed surprised by Jun's calm response. You doubt the power of the Vorn? He asked. His voice grew louder. Perhaps you need a demonstration. He pressed something on the arm of his seat. A section of the floor opened, and a large container rose up. Inside was a creature unlike anything Jun had ever seen. It had the body shape of a big cat, but with 6 legs. Its skin was a deep blue with patches that glowed. Instead of a normal head, it had something like an octopus with many tentacles surrounding a mouth full of teeth. The creature moved with both power and grace. Grekthar smiled at the human's surprise. This is a Lumina war beast from the outer worlds. My personal pet. He stood up and walked to the clear container. The creature pressed against the side nearest to him. Why aren't you trembling, human? Grekthar suddenly shouted at Jun. 1 word from me, and my pet will devour you. Jun looked at the creature with interest rather than fear. He noticed something in its eyes, something that seemed intelligent and sad. It's a remarkable animal, Jun said calmly. I'm more interested in learning about it than fearing it. Grekthar's scales flashed red. You should be begging for your life. All species fear the Vorn and our war beasts. Mina watched Jun carefully. She had worked with him for 3 years. She knew he wasn't just being brave. He had noticed something about the creature, something important. Perhaps, Jun suggested, we could discuss what Earth can offer the Vorn Empire. War costs resources. Trade might benefit both our peoples. Grekthar stared at Jun with all 4 eyes. He seemed confused by the human's reaction. You are either very brave or very foolish, he said finally. You will be our guests while your planet decides its fate. As guards led them to a holding area, Mina whispered to Jun. The creature didn't seem like a mindless beast. Jun nodded slightly. And did you notice how confused Grekthar was when I didn't show fear? I think we found a weakness, Lieutenant. The Vorn expect fear. They don't know what to do when they don't get it. Mina smiled for the first time since coming aboard. So what's our plan, Captain? First, we learn more about these pets. I think there's more to them than the Vorn are telling us, said Jun. And second, we keep confusing our host. Fear is his weapon. If it doesn't work on us, he might make mistakes. June sat quietly in the holding room. The Vorn had given them a space with 2 sleep platforms and a small area for eating. It wasn't a prison cell, but they couldn't leave. Minna paced back and forth. We've been here for 6 hours. What are we looking for, Captain? June pointed to the wall. Have you noticed? Every 2 hours, a different Vorn brings food. Each one acts strange when we thank them instead of showing fear. The last one almost dropped the tray. Minna said with a small smile. Exactly. I think the Vorn don't understand us. June stood up and walked to the door. Their whole society must be built on fear. The strong scare the weak. That's how they think life works. The door slid open. A smaller Vorn entered. His scales were duller than the guards they had seen before. He carried a device with many buttons. I am Tech, he said. His voice was quieter than Grekthar's. I am to study you for the science division. June nodded politely. We're happy to help you learn about humans. Tech's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. You are not afraid to be studied. We're scientists too, said Minna. We want to learn about the Vorn as well. Tech seemed confused but interested. He tapped on his device. First question. When Grand Commander Grekthar showed you his war beast, why didn't you beg for mercy? June thought carefully before answering. Humans respond to threats differently. We try to solve problems, not just react with fear. Fascinating, said Tech. He moved closer. No species we've met has responded this way. Most surrender immediately when they see our war beasts. About those creatures, June said casually. They seem very intelligent. Tech looked nervous. They are just animals, trained to obey. But June had seen Tech's reaction. There was something important here. While June talked with Tech, Minna noticed a small vent near the floor. When Tech wasn't looking, she quickly placed a tiny device near it, a communication scanner she had hidden in her boot. Later, when they were alone again, Minna whispered to June, "The scanner is working. I'm picking up ship communications." June leaned close to hear. What have you learned? First, they only have 3 ships, not thousands. Minna's eyes were bright with excitement. They're the advanced scouts. The rest of their fleet is months away. So they are bluffing, June said. What else? Something about the pets. They call them Lumina. Listen to this recording. She played a quiet voice speaking in the Vorn language, with the translator converting it. The Lumina in Section 4 needs stronger neural suppression. It's starting to resist commands again. June's eyes widened. Neural suppression. So they're not just animals. I think the Lumina are intelligent beings, said Minna. Maybe even more advanced than the Vorn, but they've been captured and controlled somehow. June nodded slowly. That explains the sadness I saw in the creature's eyes. The door opened again. Tech returned, looking nervous. I shouldn't be here, he said quietly. But I must know more about humans. Your response to Grekthar has caused much discussion among our scientists. June saw an opportunity. We'd be happy to explain our culture. And perhaps you could tell us more about yours. Tech looked around, then sat down. I am a low-rank scientist. In Vorn society, the strong command and the weak obey. I must show fear to all higher ranks or face punishment. Doesn't that make it hard to share new ideas? Asked Minna. Tech's scales rippled with surprise. New ideas? Those come only from the highest ranks. In human society, June explained, ideas can come from anyone. We value thinking that solves problems, not just rank. Tech seemed fascinated. This is why you don't tremble before Grekthar. You're evaluating if his threats are real instead of just reacting. Yes, said June. And I'm curious about the Lumina. They seem too intelligent to be just pets. Tech's scales turned pale. You mustn't speak of this, he whispered. But you are right. The Lumina were once a peaceful spacefaring race. The Vorn conquered them long ago and modified their brains to obey commands. June and Minna exchanged looks. Now they understood the enemy and had found a potential ally. On Earth, Defense Minister Han stared at the large screen showing the Vorn ultimatum. They had less than 12 hours left to respond. "Our deep space scans confirm what Captain Jun reported," said Officer Da. "There are only 3 Vorn ships, not a massive fleet." Engineer Sung stepped forward. He was young but brilliant, with wild hair and tired eyes. "Minister, I've been studying the data from the Pathfinder *. I think I can build a device to communicate with these Lumina creatures." "How would that help us?" asked Han. "If they're as intelligent as Captain Jun believes, they could be allies against the Vorn." Sung held up a small silver device. "This can bypass the neural control the Vorn use, but we need to get it to Captain Jun." Han nodded. "We're sending a small team in our fastest ship. They'll pretend to bring our surrender terms." He looked at the countdown clock. "But we need to buy more time." Meanwhile, on the Vorn ship, Jun was taken to see Grekthar again. The Grand Commander sat with his Lumina pet beside him, now without the container. Up close, Jun could see a metal collar around the creature's neck. "Your planet's time is running out," said Grekthar. "Have they decided to surrender?" "Earth's leaders are considering your terms," Jun said calmly. "But they have questions about what life under Vorn rule would be like." Grekthar's scales flashed with annoyance. "They should not question, only obey." He pointed to the Lumina. "See how my pet obeys my every command. That is the proper relationship." Jun looked at the Lumina. Its eyes met his, and Jun felt something. A touch in his mind, like a whisper. "The Lumina is a remarkable being," Jun said. "May I come closer?" Grekthar laughed. "Are you not afraid it will eat you?" "I'm more curious than afraid," Jun replied. "Go ahead," said Grekthar. "Perhaps seeing your death will convince your planet to surrender quickly." Jun approached slowly. The Lumina watched him with 6 eyes set around its tentacled head. As Jun got closer, he heard a voice in his mind. "Help us, *." Jun tried not to show his surprise. He reached out his hand, as if to touch the Lumina. "Careful, human," Grekthar warned. "One word from me and your pet will devour me." "Yes, you've mentioned that," Jun said. He kept his eyes on the Lumina. "We want to help you, *" he thought, hoping the creature could read his mind. The Lumina's tentacles moved slightly. Neural control. Collar. *. Jun understood. The collar was the key to the Vorn's control. Back in their holding room, Jun told Minna about the mental contact. "The Lumina are telepathic," he said. "That's why the Vorn need the neural control. Without it, the Lumina would be too powerful." Minna showed Jun her scanner. "Earth is sending a ship. They're pretending to negotiate, but they're really bringing us something." Tech entered the room nervously. "I have news. Your Earth ship will arrive in 6 hours. Grekthar plans to make you watch as he destroys your major city to show Earth's leaders what happens when they delay." "We need to act before then," said Jun. "Tech, you've seen how the Vorn way isn't the only way. Will you help us?" Tech's scales rippled with fear, but he nodded. "What do you need?" "Can you get us to where the Earth ship will dock?" asked Minna. "Yes, but the guards will stop us," said Tech. "Not if they're distracted," said Jun. "Tech, do you have access to the neural controls for the Lumina?" "I can access the control room," Tech said. "But what are you planning?" "A small change to the settings," Jun explained. "Not enough to free them completely, but enough to cause confusion." Minna smiled. "And during that confusion, we'll get whatever Earth is sending us." "It's risky," warned Tech. "If we're caught, Grekthar will kill us all." "Sometimes you have to risk everything to do what's right," said Jun. He put his hand on Tech's shoulder. "You said you wanted to understand humans. This is part of it. We stand up to bullies, even when we're afraid." Tech's scales turned a determined blue. "I'll help you. Perhaps it's time for the Vorn to learn a new way." As they finalized their plan, June thought about the Lumina. Soon, he hoped, they would all be free. The Earth ship approached the massive Vorn vessel. It was small and carried only 5 people, led by Commander Jin. In the cargo hold, Engineer Sung's device was hidden inside what looked like a box of peace offerings. "We're being scanned," said Jin's pilot. "They're guiding us to docking port 3. Jin nodded. "Remember, we act humble and scared. The Vorn expect fear, so we'll give it to them, until it's time not to." On the Vorn ship, Tech moved quickly through the lower corridors. He had never broken rules before. His scales were pale with fear, but he kept going. He reached the neural control room and looked around. 2 Vorn technicians worked at the main panel. "Status report," Tech said, trying to sound official. One technician looked up. "All Lumina neural suppressors functioning normally." "I need to check the settings on the Grand Commander's personal Lumina," said Tech. "Orders from the Science Division." The technician moved aside. Tech began typing on the control panel. His hand shook, but he remembered what June had told him to do. He made small changes to several settings, not enough to free the Lumina completely, but enough to weaken the control. Meanwhile, June and Minna waited in their room. The door slid open, and 4 guards entered. "The Earth ship has arrived," said the lead guard. "Grand Commander Grekthar wants you present when he explains what will happen to your planet." They were taken to the main chamber. Grekthar sat on his raised platform with his Lumina beside him. The Earth delegation stood nearby, looking appropriately fearful. Commander Jin bowed low to Grekthar. "Great Commander, we bring terms from Earth." Grekthar laughed. "Your terms do not matter. You will surrender completely or be destroyed." Jin kept his head down. "We understand, Mighty One. Our leaders wish only to know how we may serve the Vorn better." As they spoke, Jun caught Jin's eye. A slight nod told him that Jin had brought Sung's device. Grekthar stood. "Before we discuss your service to the Vorn, I will demonstrate what happens to those who delay." He turned to a control panel. "I have targeted your city called Tokyo. Watch as I destroy it with one command." Jun stepped forward. "Grand Commander, perhaps a smaller demonstration will." "Silence," Grekthar shouted. "You still show no fear. Why aren't you trembling, human? One word from me, and my pet will devour you." Jun looked calmly at the Lumina. "I don't think it will." Grekthar's scales turned bright red with anger. "Lumina, attack this human." The Lumina didn't move. It stared at Grekthar with all 6 eyes. "Obey me," Grekthar screamed. He pressed a button on his wrist device. The Lumina flinched as the collar tightened, but still didn't attack. Instead, it turned to June. "Asterisk, the changes are working," asterisk came the voice in June's mind. "Asterisk, but not enough. Need device asterisk." Jin saw his chance. He reached into the box of peace offerings and tossed something small to June. June caught it. Sung's device, no bigger than his palm. Guards moved to stop him, but Minna blocked their way. "Now, Captain." June pressed the device against the Lumina's collar. It lit up with blue light. The collar clicked open and fell to the floor. The chamber erupted in chaos. Grekthar shouted for more guards. But then the Lumina raised its tentacles, and a powerful mental wave filled the room. Asterisk F or E dome asterisk. Throughout the ship, other Lumina heard the call. Their neural controls, already weakened by text changes, failed completely when hit by the telepathic wave. One by one, they broke free of their collars. Grekthar backed away in terror. "What have you done?" "We've reminded the Lumina who they really are," said June. The freed Lumina approached Grekthar. For the first time, June saw the Vorn leader trembling. "Why are you afraid, Grekthar?" June asked calmly. "Isn't fear the way of the Vorn?" Maina and Jin helped subdue the remaining guards. Tech entered the chamber, his scales now a bright blue of excitement. "The other Lumina are free," he reported. "They're taking control of the ship's systems. The lead Lumina's voice sounded in all their minds. For generations, we were slaves. Today, we are free again. Thanks to humans who see beyond fear. June looked at Grekthar, who now cowered on his platform. You asked why I don't tremble. It's because humans learned long ago that fear is a poor foundation for civilization. Cooperation and understanding build stronger worlds than terror ever could. Alarms blared throughout the Vorn ship. Red lights flashed in every corridor. Vorn officers ran in confusion as Lumina broke free of their control collars. Some Vorn fought back. Others hid. A few, like Tech, helped the Lumina. In the main chamber, Jun watched as the lead Lumina approached Grekthar. The Grand Commander had backed himself against the wall. Stay away from me, Grekthar shouted. His scales were pale with fear. The Lumina's mental voice reached everyone in the room. For 20 cycles, you have kept me as a pet. You have made me watch as you threatened and hurt others. Now you know fear. June stepped forward. What is your name? He asked the Lumina. Your real name, not what the Vorn called you. The Lumina turned its 6 eyes to June. Am Mero, once a teacher of history on my world. Mero, June said with respect. The Vorn have done terrible things, but more violence won't undo that harm. Captain, Minna warned, the ship's weapons are powering up. The other Vorn ships are moving into attack position. The main screen showed the 2 other Vorn vessels turning toward them. Earth's small ship looked tiny and helpless between the giant alien vessels. Grekthar laughed despite his fear. You may have freed the beasts, but you will all die. My officers will destroy this ship rather than let the Lumina escape. Commander Jin checked his device. He's right. We're picking up energy buildup in the ship's core. I think they're planning to self-destruct. We need to stop them, said June. He turned to Mero. Can you communicate with the other Lumina? We need to take control of the ship's systems. We are trying, Mero replied. But the Vorn have locked many controls with special codes. Tech stepped forward. His scales now showed a pattern of determination. I can help. I know many of the command codes. Grekthar hissed at Tech. Traitor, you will die with these humans and beasts. I would rather die helping to end tyranny than live supporting it, Tech replied. June, Minna, Jin, and Tech hurried to the ship's control center. Freed Lumina joined them. Vorn loyal to Grekthar tried to stop them, but the Lumina's mental powers pushed them aside without harming them. In the control center, Tech worked quickly at the main computer. The self-destruct sequence has been activated, he said. We have 12 minutes. Can you stop it? Asked Mina. No, only Grekthar's personal code can stop it now. Tech looked worried. And he will never give it to us. June thought quickly. What about the ship's communication systems? Can we contact the Vorn homeworld? Yes, said Tech. But why? The Vorn leadership has lied about their conquests, June explained. Maybe their people don't know the truth. Tech worked the controls. A signal connected to the Vorn homeworld. On the screen appeared an older Vorn with elaborate scale patterns. Grand Minister, Tech said with surprise. This is Science Officer Tech on the forward ship. The Grand Minister looked confused. Why are you contacting the homeworld? Where is Grekthar? Grekthar has ordered the ship to self-destruct, Jum said, stepping forward. I am Captain June of Earth. We have discovered that the Lumina are an intelligent species enslaved by Vorn commanders. The minister's scales changed color. What? The war beasts are animals. That's what all Vorn are taught. Mero moved into view of the screen. We are not animals. We are the Lumina. We had cities and art before the Vorn came. The minister's 4 eyes widened. It speaks, with a mind voice. Your commanders have lied to you, said June. They controlled the Lumina with neural devices. They threatened Earth with destruction, claiming to have thousands of ships when they only have 3. Is this true? The minister asked Tech. Yes, Grand Minister, Tech replied. Grekthar rules by fear, just as he tried to do with the humans. But they showed me another way. The minister was silent for a moment. Then he said, "Give me Grekthar. Now." Guards brought the angry commander to the screen. When Grekthar saw the minister, his scales paled. "Stop the self-destruct, Grekthar," ordered the minister. "Then surrender your command." "Never," Grekthar shouted. "I would rather die than be weak like these humans." The minister's voice grew cold. "The code, Grekthar. Now, or your family will lose all rank and privilege on the homeworld." Grekthar's scales flashed with shock. Finally, he gave the code. Tech entered it quickly. The alarms stopped. The ship was safe. The Lumina were free. And the Vorn were learning that fear wasn't the only way to build a civilization. 3 months after the events on the Vorn ship, Captain June stood in the great meeting hall on Earth. Leaders from around the world had gathered to welcome visitors from 2 alien races. "Who would have thought," said Minister Han, standing beside June, "that our first contact with aliens would lead to this?" June smiled. "When the Pathfinder left Earth, we hoped to find new friends among the stars. We just found them in an unexpected way." The doors opened. Morrow, the Lumina teacher, glided into the room. Behind him came 5 other Lumina. Their blue skin gleamed in the light. Their tentacles moved gracefully around their faces. The Earth leaders watched with wonder, not fear. "Welcome to Earth," said the President of the World Council. "We are honored by your visit. The honor is ours." Mero's mental voice reached everyone in the room. 4 generations. We thought we would never be free again. Humans changed that asterisk. Next came the Vorn delegation. Tech led them, his scales shining with blue and gold patterns that marked his new rank as ambassador. The Grand Minister had appointed him after learning the truth about Grekthar's actions. "Earth welcomes the Vorn people," said the President. Tech bowed. "And the Vorn are grateful for this chance to build a new kind of relationship, one based on respect, not fear." Later, June, Mina, and Han sat with Mero and Tech in a smaller meeting room. Engineer Sung joined them, proudly showing his newest invention. "This translator device will help all Lumina communicate with those who can't hear mental speech," Sung explained. Mero touched the small device with one tentacle. "This will help many of my people. Some lost the ability to project thoughts clearly during our captivity." "How are things on the Lumina homeworld?" asked Mina. "Rebuilding slowly," Mero replied. "Many of our cities were destroyed when the Vorn came. But now Vorn engineers are helping us rebuild." Tech nodded. "It is the least we can do to make amends." Many Vorn had no idea what our leaders were doing. When the truth spread, there was great shame. "And Grekthar?" asked June. "He has been stripped of rank," said Tech. "The Grand Minister has ordered him to work with the Lumina, helping them restore their world." At first he refused, but something interesting has happened. "What's that?" asked Han. "A young Lumina teacher has been showing him Lumina history and art. For the first time, Grekthar is learning instead of commanding. It's changing him slowly." Mero's tentacles rippled with what June now recognized as laughter. He still doesn't like it. But he is learning. Officer Da entered the room with urgent news. "We've received signals from deep space. More Vorn ships are coming. The main fleet we heard about." Everyone tensed, but Tech remained calm. "Do not worry. The Grand Minister has sent them new orders. They come not to conquer but to learn. The Minister has decided that the Vorn must change their ways if they are to survive in the galaxy." "What made the Minister change so quickly?" asked Mina. "Not quickly," said Tech. "For years, some Vorn have questioned our ways, but they were afraid to speak. When the Minister saw humans standing up to Grekthar without fear, it gave him courage to make changes he had long considered." June looked at the strange group around the table. Humans, Lumina, and Vorn working together. We all have much to learn from each other. Asterisk indeed, asterisk, agreed Morrow. Asterisk, the Lumina have technology to share. We once traveled between stars without ships, using our minds to fold space asterisk. And the Vorn have strong ships and defensive systems, added Tech. If we combine our knowledge, we could explore the galaxy together, June finished. Minister Han raised a glass. To new alliances, may they make us all stronger and wiser. As they celebrated, news came that the first joint human Lumina-Vorn science team had been formed. Their mission, to create a new kind of ship that would combine the best technology of all three worlds. The stars suddenly seemed much closer and much more friendly. In the end, the High Council agreed to make a peace deal with Earth. It was a historic moment that would change things for both planets. Jae-sung went back to his spaceship, where his crew was waiting for him. They were very surprised and happy to see him. They had thought he might be dead. Jae-sung looked out the window at Zorgax one last time. He thought about everything that had happened. He realized that his bravery and kindness had made a big difference. It had brought two different worlds together. As Jae-sung's ship flew away from Zorgax, he felt hopeful. The humans and Zorgaxians had not trusted each other at first, but now they saw that they could work together and help each other. Jae-sung knew it would not be easy. There was still a lot of work to do to keep the peace, but he believed it was possible. Back on Earth, people were amazed when they heard Jae-sung's story. He had gone to an alien planet all alone and had changed everything. Many humans had been scared of Zorgaxians before, but now they saw them differently. They wanted to learn more about Zorgaxian culture and technology. At the same time, Zorgaxians became very interested in Earth. Some of them even wanted to visit and see what human cities were like. Leaders from Earth and Zorgax started having regular meetings. They made plans to trade resources and share scientific knowledge. Jae-sung became a hero on both planets, but he stayed humble. He said he was just a regular person who tried to do the right thing. He said everyone had the power to make a difference if they were brave and cared about others. As the years passed, humans and Zorgaxians became close allies and friends. They worked together on many projects that made life better on both planets. Sometimes there were still conflicts and misunderstandings, but they always tried to talk and find a peaceful solution. The universe was very big, with many worlds and species. Jae-sung had shown that even if someone seems alien and scary at first, it is important to try to understand them. Because deep down, everyone wants the same basic things: to explore, to learn, and to live in peace.